So, it's been a few days since this whole thing happened. Uh, this was a big headache of a moment to happen, especially due to the circumstances. I mean, you all can see here based on the screen based on what happened. Thursday morning, got out of work. Grandfather was driving like the truck that you see on the right side is this truck, and he just got this truck not even 2 months ago. Not even 2 months ago, and he hasn't even made his first payment yet on this truck. Because the people that he got this truck from, they were pretty much bugging him. It's like, hey, trade in your most recent truck so we have vehicles to sell and everything. Come get a new one. Even though the last truck he had, he didn't even have for that long. But he got this truck, and Thursday morning I got out of work. We got in the truck to finally come home. So this was shortly after around 7 o'clock. It was a little bit delayed because we had a meeting at work, went a little longer than expected. So we get down the street, and there's a gas station down at the end of the street, just as two roads merged together with two sets of train tracks there. Before we got to the first set of train tracks, there was this small bus, not like a school bus, but more like those small size like transportation ones that you see in public. That was stopped there, of course, because they have to at the train tracks, because the law says you have to. Well, grandfather did not want to wait until the bus got moving, wanted to get around it, so we could just keep going with our commute. There was one car that was coming up behind us, we let that car pass, then we got into the left lane to then go forward and get around the bus. Just as we got to the left of the bus and started going over the train tracks, the truck started fighting with us. Like, my grandfather was trying to drive it forward, and it felt like the truck was constantly trying to hit the brakes on us for whatever reason. Like, And you could feel the truck shaking like it's fighting against us. And we're like, what the hell's going on? There was a red light on the dashboard, and you hear beep, 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 beep. It's almost like, it's like when a newfound vehicle does that, almost like a accident prevention method, like to make sure you don't hit anybody ahead of you. But by the time this all was happening, there was absolutely nothing directly in front of us to warrant this. We were already to the left of the bus, and the car that we were waiting to pass us was already well ahead by the time this started happening. And just after you hear a beep, 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 the white Mazda that you see on the left side of the screen rear-ended us. Really sad to think that my grandfather just got this truck not too long ago, and he's already been in an accident. Second time in a row, something happens to a new truck, but under different circumstances. And based on what I saw in the photos, it looked like the woman was trying to get around us because she hit our left bumper side, or driver's side, and it affected her right side. So I think she was trying to get around us but couldn't do so at the last moment and hit us. It had knocked my grandfather's Vietnam veteran like magnet that he had on the back, kind of where you see that big bump on the right to the right of the left red light there. Rear friggin' light, the brake light there. Think that's the terminology. I'm not a car expert. So it seemed everybody was alright, but we were just like, what the hell happened? So we called my uncle to come see what was going on. And the whole time I'm sitting there in the passenger seat because when we got hit, it knocked my grandfather's hat off his head because he was wearing a Michigan State hat, and it knocked my phone out of my hand. Not a fun moment. And I felt a slight whiplash because, of course, that's going to happen when you get in an accident like this. But overall, we were pretty much alright. And I did not step out of the truck at all for a little bit because we were waiting for waiting for traffic to stop because there were vehicles constantly coming to the right of us because, like I said, we're in the left lane at this point. Cars constantly passing through, and I even have some people at work that actually either witnessed the accident or saw the aftermath, so I kept hearing a lot about this the next night. From the extent of what I heard, the only injury, quote-unquote injury they had, and I think the woman had a swollen hand because I guess her hand must have hit the dashboard from the impact. That was like the extent of it. My grandfather and I were shaken up. And once my uncle got there, that was when traffic cleared up because you had an officer car that blocked traffic to make sure nothing was going to keep coming at us. And I whirled down the window. He's like, yeah, the other car's totaled. And this whole time, I had not seen what happened. I recorded a small video on Instagram, which, if you've seen my Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. So then, traffic cleared up. I stepped out, and an officer approached the truck. He's like, were you a driver? I'm like, no, I'm a passenger, because he was talking to my grandfather there on the side. He was a driver, and I just got out of the passenger side of the truck. But he got my information, and I looked at the vehicles, and it was just like, my God. Even within that pile of rubble, my grandfather's Vietnam veteran magnet just laid there in the pile. We pointed out, it's like, hey, do you want it? He's like, no, I'm not worried about it. But then I walked over to the pile, grabbed the magnet out of there because it was still in one piece, and took it with us. I mean, he's always careful about this Vietnam veteran magnet because, of course, he was a veteran from 67 to 68. He's always taking the magnet off to make sure that it doesn't fall off whenever he goes to a car wash, so why not save it this time, too? Why leave it behind here in an accident? But nobody got ticketed. At this point, we don't know the full extent of the police report, what they said. We haven't looked it up. Because, again, something happened with the truck just stopping and stalling on us. I mean, it was able to drive afterwards, but it was just like, the timing of all this was just sad. And everybody's staying around waiting for the police to finish their stuff there. I'm standing there on the side of the road drinking my Coca-Cola. Because my grandfather got breakfast before this, so I'm standing there, side of the road, in the 30s outside, drinking Coca-Cola out of one of those plastic cup containers that come from McDonald's. Just being like, yep, drink, wait for us all to finish. But it's just, we're just astounded. Second time in a row he gets a truck, and shortly thereafter something happens to it. And like I said, this was before he could even make his first payment. Because he's trying to, finally figure out when his first payment is due, so he was getting ready to do that, then all of a sudden this happens. As far as I know, the other woman's car is totaled. I don't know how badly it is, like I said. Thankfully she's alright. Hopefully she's doing well. With the truck, it's around $9,000 in damage, because of course it's a new vehicle and parts and everything. But it's just like, man, this was a massive bummer, because like I said, we were just trying to go home and get around the bus, and for some reason this truck started fighting with us. Like, I can understand if it's doing that when there's a vehicle directly in front of you to stop you from rear-ending somebody, but like I said, we were to the left of the bus, and there was nothing directly in front of us at that point when we crossed the train tracks now, because the vehicle we were waiting for already went ahead. So, I don't know. And even when we were driving home, like, if you see these kind of vehicles, you see, like, those icons on the side of the side mirrors that have, like, those icons to let you know that, hey, there's a vehicle to the side of you, like an orange light will fill up with that silhouette that's on there. The left one was constantly going off even if there was nothing to the left of us. Because I guess it must have affected the sensor. But the problem is, it also happens on the passenger side, even if we're on the right lane there, and we're not even having a vehicle next to us. We could have, like, a light post or whatever just stand there on the grass and pass us, but yet it keeps going off, even, like I said, if there's no vehicle next to us. So, I mean, we've had some issues and grievances with this truck, but it's just like, my God. Like I said, thankfully everybody's alright. And this was like my first time being in some kind of accident from one vehicle against another since... It has to be since 2013 when I had my fender bender. I think that must have been March of 2013. I think so. So it's the first time I've been in an accident in 10 years. But it's just like, man, I cannot hear the end of it when it happened to work. It's like, oh, are you guys alright? Was that your grandfather's truck? Your grandfather didn't have the truck long. It's like, I know, we both know. But anyway, thought I'd talk about that. Let me know what you all thought in the comment section below. And I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. And good day, everybody.